Welcome to another episode of Stupid Simple Hacks, showing you just how simple it can be to hack your way to a better website, business, and life. And now your host, Keith Hearn.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Stupid Simple Hacks podcast. My name is Keith and this is episode 1. If you haven't listened to it already, we actually did it in episode 0, which I talked a little bit about myself and about what the podcast and website were going to be about. If you haven't listened to that yet, go ahead and check it out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty short. And it's actually kind of the theme that I want to really put most of these podcasts around is short and simple. You know, not everybody has time for a full hour-long podcast like a lot of these podcasts are. Some people have short drives or just don't have a lot of time to really sit and listen to these kinds of things. So my goal is to keep a lot of these podcasts short, to the point, and just provide as much information as I can in that short amount of time. With this being the first podcast, I was trying to decide what to talk about today, and what I decided on was something that would kind of combine both personal hacks and business hacks all into one. And again, keeping it really short and simple, I want to talk about 5 of my favorite iPhone apps that revolve around Google. Now, Google is probably one of my favorite companies just because they do so much and really make so much, they make so little money off of what they do. I think the last stat that I had heard was that they only make money off of like 1 or 2% of everything that they do. They offer so many free services, free apps, free different software applications, and again, it's all free. The only thing that I think that they really make money off of is both AdSense and maybe a small amount off of paid Gmail accounts. I could be wrong. There may be other items that they are making money off of, but I know that AdSense is really their big one and pretty much the only thing they're making money on. So again, not everybody likes Google. Some people think that they're spying on your information. I really don't buy into all that. They're just collecting information, good or bad, what they're really doing with it. Again, they're just providing me with better search results. That's all I'm really concerned about. But again, today I want to talk about my 5 favorite apps. This is kind of blend into both business and personal time here. So I'll start with the first one that I use both at work and at play, and that's called Google Play. This is a great service that rolled out, I think it was a year or 2 ago, and basically they offered a service where you could create your Google Play account and just start uploading all of your own personal music to their account and have your own audio player within there that you could listen to that, as well as purchase music from them and have all that music in the same location. Now, they came out with this to kind of compete with a lot of the other companies like Pandora and Spotify. I don't know about SoundCloud so much, but definitely competing with those. And I think one of the big things that they offer that a lot of the other people don't is unlimited storage. And again, it may change depending on when you listen to this. Last I had checked, it was unlimited storage, so you could just start uploading all your music to it and have that on the go, whether it be on your phone or at work through a browser. It was all right there inside of Google Play. So it's a great app for your phone. It's a great app for your desktop. I would definitely suggest looking into it. I actually purchased some music from them, and the music automatically goes into your account, so it's really kind of handy to have everything in the same spot. It is kind of like iTunes as well, but again, iTunes is pretty much just storing all the music on your computer as opposed to like in the cloud. So definitely check that out if you're into music and you have a lot of music and you want to store it somewhere. The other one that I use in both personal and in business is Google Voice. Now, if you don't have this, actually if you don't have a Gmail account, I would suggest signing up for a Gmail account. Basically, once you have a Gmail account, you can get so many things from Google for free. That's just kind of what everything revolves around. Whether it's your YouTube login or whatever, Gmail is kind of the core of all these things. But Google Voice is really cool. What I did is I set it up to be my voicemail system for my phone. So as opposed to letting Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint or whoever handle all your voicemail, where you get a phone call, you leave a message, you have to call a number, you have to go listen to it, and that's the only way that you get your voicemail. With Google Voice, you kind of cut out that carrier and the message goes right to Google. Now what's cool about that is, for one, when the message gets done, you get a text message saying, hey, you've got voicemail. 2, you get an email with that voicemail transcribed for you, so you can actually read the voicemail before you even listen to it. Thirdly, you can go listen to the voicemail and it's stored online in the cloud, and you can access it from either a browser or from an app. And again, they've got the Google Voice app. So it's a great way to be a little bit more productive with what you're doing, where you could be on the go, have your phone or wherever, and be able to listen to these voicemails or even read them without having to call them up. It just saves a little bit of time. Google Docs is a great service. I don't know why, but I just finally got this app for my phone and I absolutely love it for a couple different reasons. One, gives me access to all the docs in my Gmail account. Again, if you're not familiar with Gmail, once you have a Gmail account, you actually have access to the Google Docs, which is just like Microsoft Office. It has kind of a Word type program, a spreadsheet program like Excel, and even a PowerPoint kind of program. But again, they kind of call it something different. Now, what you can do with that is you can upload actual PowerPoint or Word files into it, and you can work on these files in the cloud. You can share these files with other people who have Gmail accounts, and you can collaborate on files and documents and things like that, as opposed to having to save a Word file, email it to somebody else, have them check it out, send it back to you. You can collaborate on these documents. So that's just one of the cool things about it. What I find to be really cool about it is when using my phone, I can actually dictate into like a new Google document, and just by using the voice commands, I can have it actually dictate out a letter for me. I mentioned I spend a lot of time in the car. I have long drives, so what's great is when I have an idea, what I can do is I can put that into my Google Docs through my phone. Just by talking into it, I can narrate, and it'll take all my text, turn it into, or take all my voice commands, turn it into text. And by the time I get to the office, I can go in there and check it out. I can, again, copy and paste, I can edit it, and it's all stored in the cloud. So again, I can either pull it up on my phone or pull it up on my computer once I get to my Gmail account. Now, because I am into websites, I have a lot of websites, whether it be mine or my clients. There's a great app. This is the only one that's not actually by Google, but it handles all of Google's analytics. I like it better than Google's analytics app. It's called GAGet. I believe it stands for Google Analytics Get. And this is actually the only paid app too. I think it was $1 last time, or 99 cents when I actually purchased it. And it's a great way to pull in all the analytical data on just the websites that you want to take a look at. Now, personally, what's I think a little bit different about this app as opposed to just using the Google app itself is that they actually claim that it's an absolutely sexy app. It's a great app to look at, and it really is. It's a very clean design, and it gives you just the information that you really need. If you really wanted to dig deeper into some analytics, you probably want to go back to the actual Google Analytics website and take a look that way. But the GAGet app has just kind of the core information that you want to take a look at. It's laid out in a very clean way. But what I think is kind of cool too, as opposed to a lot of apps where you have to kind of pull down to refresh it, this one uses the accelerometer where you can shake the app and it refreshes your websites that way. So kind of a cool app, kind of addictive if you have a lot of websites or you just like tracking the statistics on your website. It's a great way to take a look at that. The last app I want to take a look at is Google AdSense. Now, if you have any websites and you have any kind of monetization on them, being Google AdSense, taking a look at how much money you're making from hour to hour or day to day is, again, can be kind of addictive. So great app, works really well. I know years ago I was looking for one of these, wasn't really finding anything that worked very good. I don't remember exactly when this one came out, but it works great. I've had no problems with it. And again, just kind of fun to track how much money you're making from your websites. So check that one out. Now, I did mention how much I absolutely love Google. Again, I appreciate everything that they've done. And if you don't really know how much they've done or want to find out more about them, there's an absolutely great book out. It's called In the Plex, and it was written by Stephen Levy. Now, he's a reporter that was actually given access to Google to basically follow around Larry Page and Sergey Brin, follow them around Google for I think it was a couple of years, and got a lot of backstories from a lot of key players at Google. Got to take a first-hand look at how things work. Did some amazing work on basically documenting Google from the very beginning until nowadays, and all the struggles they've gone through, all the great things that they've come up with, all the crazy people that they've met and things that they've done. It talks about just their whole mentality and the way that they think about the business and how they run the business. So if you have really any interest in Google or finding out more about them, In the Plex by Stephen Levy is a great book. Now, this is a book that I actually listened to on Audible, again, because I do so much driving, it was easier to do it that way. And I don't think they have this in the actual paperback book, but in the Audible book, they had an interview with at least one or two people from Google. So it was kind of cool actually hearing the voices of the people who Stephen talks about throughout the book, to actually hear them, hear their personalities, and hear them talk about the same things that he kind of talked about throughout the book, which kind of reinforces everything that he says in it. So again, In the Plex, I'll have links to all this stuff on the website under podcast episode 1. So if you want to take a look at any of these apps that I'm talking about or the book itself, check us out, stupidsimplehacks.com. Appreciate you listening to our first episode here. We got a lot more great episodes coming up. Hope to have you back. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Stupid Simple Hacks. Please be sure to subscribe to our podcast and continue learning to better hack your website, business, and life.